Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Sports. It is 2025 and the South African rugby season is set to return to action for the first time this year with the EPCR competitions coming back to your screens this weekend. First of all, from all of us here at Forever Sports, wishing our entire community a huge happy 2025 and all the best for the new year. It's going to be an exciting year, isn't it? In terms of some really cool Springbok games, hopefully especially towards the end of the year. The double header against New Zealand in New Zealand, going back to Eden Park. Big year for the domestic sides as well. Potentially getting full membership as well for URC. So financials from an SRA point of view going to start to change. Potential equity deals. So lots and lots to talk about as the year will go on. But before then, we need to dive into the Champions Cup and the Challenge Cup and some massive news. If you are in Durban, get yourself a ticket to the Shark Tank this weekend because the Sharks versus Toulouse game is set to be absolutely epic after Toulouse rested a number of their stars over the weekend, which means that Anton Dupont could be set to play his first match in the Southern Hemisphere in almost 8 years if he is to travel down to South Africa to face the Sharks in what would be an absolutely brilliant occasion. We're waiting to see exactly what the Sharks injury list is going to look like. The likes of Andre Estes and Apele Fassi all potentially question marks. Will we see an Ebenezer? But let's get into it, shall we? And before we do that, please do smash like, comment the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Right, so the big story is that the top 14 was in action over the weekend, and Toulouse actually lost against La Rochelle. But the big news in terms of that game was the players that weren't playing rather than the players that were. Toulouse obviously has got one of the highest percentage of sort of international stars from the French team in the top 14. However, the likes of Anton Dupont, Thomas Ramos, Piotr Movaco, Emmanuel Mafu, Francois Kroos, and Romain Intermac, to name a few, were all left out of the clash against La Rochelle, which would indicate that they were being rested for the coming weekend. 5:15 down in Durban, Sharks versus Toulouse. We could be seeing all of those names running out against a Springbok stacked Sharks as well. So kind of the closest thing we're going to have to a bit of a France Springbok sort of rematch since that 2023 World Cup quarterfinal. And this is the kind of match we wanted when we moved up north. This is the kind of match that is really going to show the South African public exactly what playing in Europe it could potentially be and is going to potentially be. And it's interesting because France have been very negative about South Africa moving up to the EPCR competition. So you kind of wonder, this is a bit of a statement that they are going to try and bring out their top side and try and sort of really make a statement against the Shark side, which coming off a loss actually against the Stormers, and this continues to be coming off a loss in the Champions Cup. And against Stormers, so not in the best of form, but have been sort of here and there throughout the season. And it's a frustrating team because you look at the stars in that Shark side, and they should never be losing sort of the games that they have lost. But that loss to the Stormers in particular, I think, will really hurt because they had the team to go and get a result. So in terms of this weekend, apart from that game, let's have a look at what some of the other games are, shall we? So it all starts on Friday. Glasgow Warriors hosting Racing 92. The games for the South African side are as follows. Stormers versus Sale Sharks, 3 o'clock in the DHL Stadium. Sharks versus Toulouse after that, 5:15. And if you're a Bulls fan, well, set your alarm clocks in case you have a bit of a nap, because it is starting at 10 o'clock on Saturday night. But the game I really want to focus on really is this Sharks versus Toulouse game. And the reason for that is there's been a lot of talk about Anton Dupont as being the best ever to play the game. And a lot of the sort of people that discredit his is the fact that he does not travel outside of France, and that's a fact. That's not an opinion. That's not a controversial to say. He doesn't, he France, because of the way the top 14 work, never really sent a particularly strong French side to the sort of outgoing tour that they have in sort of that July period, because the top 14 finishes so late. So he doesn't tend to play in those games. And then obviously in the Six Nations, he plays obviously home games, away games, but it's all within Europe, so he doesn't leave Europe. He doesn't come to the Southern Hemisphere unless it's a World Cup, and the last World Cup in the Southern Hemisphere was a long time ago. So Personally, I mean, I don't think that it really sort of impacts him as a player. Yes, in terms of you talk about the greatest ever, you want to sort of talk about has he been able to do it in different tours, different competitions, etc. At the end of the day, he is a phenomenal player, and him playing against the Sharks this weekend is going to be absolutely electric if he does travel. But let me know what you think. Can the Sharks beat an Anton Dupont and star-studded, Toulouse, or is it going to be too big of an ask? And if they were to potentially get that result, what does that mean for the Sharks? Does that suddenly put them as potential contenders if they can go and be one of the top sides in the competitions? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.